Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here, I will discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick review of the day's aspects before I play another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The Tarot card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Eight of Pentacles, and it's here because it represents in astrology the first 10 days or the first decan of the sun's transit in the land of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, and pentacles or coins in tarot are earth. And earth element symbolism has to do with what it takes to feel grounded or as though you are standing on both feet. The work that we will do to achieve the structure, to create the structures and networks for support and validation that we need in order to grow in our lives, right? So this has to do with your body, your health, wealth, and finances. So the physical stuff you have, your body, the nice things you have, and particularly how we handle our money, right? And what we're willing to work for, how hard we're willing to work to get there, right? So the Eight of Pentacles here shows a person who's willing to do some hard work to improve their circumstance. And this always comes across as a sort of like a trade school to me, or some sort of an educational opportunity. This person is clothed in the tools of the trade. They have in the clothes of the trade. They have the tools of the trade. They have this workstation here, and they're sort of repetitively doing this one thing until basically they are satisfied, or perhaps somebody else is satisfied that they are so good at doing it that they don't need any more information about it, right? But yes, that does point a little bit to education, especially since at this time of year, Sun in Virgo, a lot of people just went to school or just went back to school. We are starting our education. But it also just points out the importance of diligent effort and hard work in achieving our goals, right? There is no reward without making an effort. So, what is it that you're willing to work for, and what will you do to get where you need to go? Will you buckle down? Will you do the studying? Will you take a greater interest in what it is you're trying to do than you might have thought you had to, just in order to really turn it into something of value for you? And with that said, I'm going to shuffle my cards while I remind myself and the cards. The sun is in Virgo right now, and so right now we are really all about the practical options. We, time is of the essence at this time. For those of us who just went back to school, we want to spend as much time studying as possible. We want to get in our schooling hours, in a in a timely fashion, so that the education we get will eventually sooner than later have some value for us, right? But also we're in the middle of 3 harvests at the end of the summer, right? We just finished up the first one with midsummer. The next one will be the autumnal equinox, when the sun leaves Virgo and goes into Libra. Right at that point, we'll have the autumnal equinox, and that's the second of 3 harvests. So, harvest time is of the essence. You have to do the work you have to do to get it all in before it gets cold, and you can't do that work and you can't save, the food that you grew. And I mean that literally and figuratively, okay? So go with me on the allegory portion of that, will you? And then on the moon side of the page, we're also in Virgo. Okay, we had the new moon in Virgo yesterday, very dispersing mutable earth vibes, where we just want to rearrange things and consider all the possibilities in terms of making the stuff in our lives work easier, go more efficiently, and produce stability and value for us. So at this time, the moon is now waxing. We're in that mode of increase. We want to set intentions, create solutions, create plans that will bring better solutions for us in our lives, and especially for the next couple of weeks, because when we get to that full moon, we're going to want to have something to show for our planning and efforts. And, you know, coming up next Saturday, we'll have next Saturday or Sunday, we'll have that first quarter moon in Sagittarius. That's when we will switch from setting intentions to and making plans to actually acting on those plans. So make your plans now. And then on the moon side of the page today, early this morning, the moon goes trine to Uranus. This is like an impulsive and blessed. It's like, you know, some sort of exciting possibility might come up in your personal life at this point. And, you know, it might represent a change for you, or at least a change in, you know, your regular routine or your plans for your home space or your close relationships. But it's a blessing right now. Okay. So if you get an opportunity that is exciting, you're blessed if you go for it. And then this evening at 6:27, moon goes in opposition to Neptune. Okay. And this is a time when we can kind of let our fears and insecurities, you know, our I don't want to say our wrong perceptions of things, but perhaps our filtered perceptions of things, you know, inform us in a way that we don't have emotional or rational clarity about something. Okay, so let's not try to make any, you know, very big choices at this time, because we're kind of living at that moment sort of in our fears. And then later on at 10 o'clock, 10:08, moon goes trine to Pluto. And it's the void of course moon. It's the last aspect that the moon is making in the sign of Virgo. It will go into Libra tomorrow morning in 6.5 hours. So, you know, when the moon is trine to Pluto, we're sort of blessed with compassion for the things that are coming up in terms of inner knowing, in terms of deep discoveries or recollections, stuff that might normally make us feel uncomfortable, now will arise, and we'll have like loving hearts and compassion for the things that we've been through, so we can kind of allow ourselves to forgive ourselves for some things, allow ourselves to let down some old defenses perhaps, and, you know, also find some compassion for perhaps people who have harmed us in the past. I don't know. We'll see what comes up with that, right? After that, we have 6.5 hours void of course. This is generally the time to reflect and meditate and try to have those conversations with yourself and with spirit regarding, you know, how you're doing and where you're going and how you want to approach your personal life from here on in. This also spans the midnight hour tonight, so it's a good time for ritual and spell work. Any ritual or spell work that I do at this time is going to be keeping in mind the waxing crescent moon and my desire to set intentions and create plans that bring about positive solutions that have value and add stability and structure to my life. And on the sun side of the page today, Venus is opposite to Saturn. So, you know, I read this as an opportunity, especially when it comes to our love lives and our finance lives, to slow down, to observe some of the commitments we have made, the boundaries that we have signed on for. They may not feel very exciting for us at this time. They may feel a little bit restrictive, but really pushing back against them, resisting them at this time is not going to work out well for us, okay? So if you need to have a serious talk with a loved one, just understand that you need to go slow and be careful with yourself and with your loved one. And then Venus is currently square to Uranus and trine to Chiron. You know, Venus is in Leo right now, and Venus in Leo is very demonstrative and likes to make grand gestures, likes to, you know, surprise people with fancy dinners and gifts and stuff like that. And, you know, Venus square to Uranus says, yes, let's do something impulsive and exciting and different from whatever we've done before. And Venus trine Chiron says, yes, we are growing closer to those people that we like and love, you know, those people that we have a mutual regard for. There might be somebody in our lives that we actually feel our bond growing, and we love that. You know, we feel more healed and more, you know, included and inclusive in that relationship. However, that square with Uranus is saying, you know, probably ought to communicate before you spring a surprise on somebody, okay? Maybe that's not going to work out for you so well, and you wouldn't like that moment to be the moment when you find out, you know, that your loved one actually hates miniature golf, and there's no way that they're going to be enthusiastic about going through the whole course with you, right? Okay, and then down here we have the Sun square to Mars, and this is like We have a lot of initiative. It's sort of under pressure. It's a lot of action-oriented energy, a lot of fire, a lot of heat, okay? And if we are not careful to figure out ways that we can let off steam, we might find ourselves having some explosive behavior, all right? So keep that in mind. All right, we're a little bit blundering, we're a little bit perhaps selfish at this time, but we can still make positive changes that will transform us for the better. We still have this grand trine here between Mars and Pluto and Mercury. Mars is courage and initiative, and Pluto is like that deep inner knowing, that intuitive well from which we draw to create our lives. And then Mercury is like our rational ability to plan and create things for ourselves. So this is a time when, especially if we want to make a start on something or quit doing something, and in doing so, it would represent sort of a leveling up, a change that might contribute to a bigger transformation for us. Now is the time to be acting. Okay, we can be conscious about the transformations we're going through. We can be active on the transformations that we're going through. All of these three are working together in this really blessed and divine way to really focus our ability to make changes in our lives. And then, for the better. And then Mercury is in opposition to Neptune right now. Just don't be fooled, and don't fool yourself. Don't allow yourself to think, oh, well, this person has the best possible intentions and they said some good things that make me think I'm getting everything I want here, so I'm just going to trust them. Don't do that, okay? It's fine to have trust. It's also really good to ask questions, right? Make sure that the information you're receiving is not just true, not just factual, but also complete, right? You're getting the full set of information before you, like enroll in a school or buy a car, anything that involves signing a contract, all right? And with all of that said, so yesterday we had the Two of Pentacles. So this is really beautiful because I pointed out that 8 plus 2 equaled 10 of Pentacles. And so we had this capacity to have that sort of ultimate expression of material security in the world. And here's 10 of Pentacles. It represents the ultimate expression of material security in the world. You've got your family around you. You've got a nice, solid home base around you. You have all the financial support you need. You're bringing in enough income. You have enough, resources that you don't have to go without, and you don't have to worry about balancing like what you want versus what you need. You can do both at this time because you're at the 10 of Pentacles, right? So, let me see what Saturn's doing. Again, Saturn is in opposition to Venus right now, and Saturn is also a retrograde. So it's really asking us to reassess our approach to getting here, okay? And to even reassess our approach to balancing what we desire versus what we need, right? If we only ever get what we need and we never get what we desire, are we really getting everything we need? Like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? So, Saturn in retrograde is asking us to reassess our approach to getting to this place. And this 8 of coins really also indicates a point where we have reassessed what it takes for us to get to that ultimate expression of material security, right? We realize now that there isn't any reward here without first making this diligent effort. You have to put the work in, right? You have to apply the principles you have learned so that they have value for you. And, once you have done that, you can get to a point where, everything in your life is just abundantly resourced and very valuable for you. And that's beautiful. Let's see if I see anything else out here on the page. Not really, except that the sun and moon are in Virgo, and that is also an earth sign. So, right now we're setting intentions that bring solutions, right? We're trying to create things for ourselves now, solutions to problems even right now. We're trying to fix things up and rearrange our resources and our approach to resources in such a way that we can do the work and get the reward. taken together with the Eight of Pentacles, I mean, that's just obvious. Do the work and get the reward. And understand that when you get here, you know, Ten of Pentacles is kind of the end of the Pentacles story. There are royalty after the Ten of Pentacles. So the idea here is either you get here and then you get to start over again at the Two of Pentacles, right? You know, maybe you lose everything, or you spend everything, you sell everything, and you start over trying to manage your assets into some other ultimate expression of material security. You know, maybe you get here and you're like, this is beautiful, but now it's not, you know, it's not what I thought I wanted, but now it's not what I think I want anymore, right? So then there's that opportunity to move on, but also there's an opportunity here to sort of rise, to ascend, right? This would be like, you know, the person who is not royalty, but who has gotten pretty close. What would we call that? Like aristocracy or merchant class or something like that. And so, you know, you do have an opportunity here to become, from the Ten of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, then the Knight, then the Queen, then the King, right? And the Page of Pentacles is somebody who has built something that has value and now comes to offer it, you know, as an investment in our future. So what are you going to do when you reach that point of complete expression of material security? Are you going to get back to work? Are you going to, you know, knight yourself, you know, buy a crown and sit on a throne? What do you plan to do with those resources once you've earned them? Once you have created this solid and comfortable life for yourself, and then, you know, the work you're doing creates more and more excess material support that you don't even necessarily need or know what to do with. What are you going to do with that next? That's my question. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about it, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.